In a world addicted to noise, silence has become a form of rebellion. Everywhere you turn, someone is talking, explaining, proving, performing. People overshare their struggles on social media, announce every intention, and speak as if words alone can build a future. But the wise? They move differently. A wise person isn't silent because they lack something to say. They're silent because they understand the cost of speaking too soon, too much, or to the wrong audience. Their silence is not empty, it's strategic. Stillness is their armor. It protects their peace, preserves their energy, and shields their inner world from unnecessary interference. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The wise don't talk about who they are becoming, they become it. While others are performing wisdom, they are living it. And in that space between noise and action, something rare begins to emerge, power that doesn't need applause. A truly wise person knows that the moment you speak your goals aloud to the wrong ears, you invite doubt, envy, and even sabotage. So instead, they move in silence. They operate with calm intention. And when they finally speak, it means something. Because their words are backed by proof, not promises. Think of the calmest person in the room. They often say the least, yet command the most respect. Why? Because they've mastered restraint. They don't need validation. Their sense of value is internal, unshaken by attention or approval. And that quiet confidence is magnetic. This isn't about being mysterious for show. It's about being intentional with your energy. When you stop needing to speak, you start observing. You start understanding. And from that understanding comes clarity about yourself, others, and the path you're walking. So ask yourself, do I speak to impress, or to express what truly matters? In the chapters ahead, we'll explore 5 specific things that the wise never talk about. Not because they're secrets, but because speaking them out loud cheapens their power. And sometimes, silence is the most powerful message of all. You've probably heard it before, move in silence. But what does that truly mean? A wise person never loudly broadcasts their future plans. Not because they lack ambition. Not because they're secretive or afraid. But because they understand a deep truth: intentions are fragile. And words, they're cheap. We live in a culture where people announce every next step before it happens: new goals, new projects, big dreams. And then what? Most of it fades. Because announcing a goal feels almost like achieving it. It gives you a dopamine rush. You feel accomplished, validated. But in reality, nothing has changed. You just talked. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic minds, warned, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." It's the difference between noise and discipline. Between pretending and becoming. The wise don't need to explain their mission. They're already walking it. And that silence isn't weakness. It's strength under control. Why does this matter? Because every time you speak your plans aloud to the wrong people, you give them permission to interfere, intentionally or not. Doubt creeps in. Jealousy spreads. People start expecting, predicting, even hoping you fail. And all that pressure becomes weight you never needed to carry. But the one who works in silence? No pressure. No outside noise. Just internal focus and momentum. When they finally reveal what they've been building, it's already done. It's undeniable. It doesn't need defending. This is not about being paranoid. It's about being selective. Not everyone deserves access to your blueprint. Some people aren't cheering for you, they're watching you to copy or to compete. And the wise don't feed those flames. They protect their growth with silence. So next time you feel the urge to announce something big, pause. Ask yourself, am I sharing this to gain approval? Or to distract myself from the discipline required to execute? Let your results speak louder than your declarations ever could. Pain is universal. Everyone suffers in some form. But not everyone chooses to share that suffering with the world, and the wisest among us rarely do. It's not because they lack emotion. It's not because they're numb or disconnected. No, it's because they've learned that exposing your wounds to the wrong eyes doesn't heal them, it often makes them worse. We live in an age of oversharing. People post their heartbreaks, their breakdowns, their darkest moments hoping for empathy. But what they often get is attention without understanding, pity instead of peace. Seneca once said, "A man is as unhappy as he has convinced himself he is." Think about that. Misery grows when we nurture it, when we talk about it constantly, when we identify with it. The wise bleed in silence. Not to deny their pain, but to process it with dignity. They seek solitude, not sympathy. They know that most people don't truly listen to understand. They listen to compare, to judge, or to feel better about their own situations. When you broadcast your struggles, you hand your power to people who may never respect it. But when you keep your suffering sacred, you maintain control. You sit with your pain. You learn from it. You grow in quiet ways no one can see, until one day, they feel your strength without knowing what you've survived. The modern world glorifies vulnerability, but the Stoics taught a different kind of resilience, not the absence of feeling, but the discipline to carry it without spilling. This doesn't mean you can't talk about pain. But choose carefully who you share it with. Not every audience deserves your truth. So next time you feel the weight of struggle pressing down, ask yourself, do I want to be understood, or do I want to be stronger? Because the strongest people aren't the ones who cry the loudest. They're the ones who heal in silence and come back wiser. Knowledge is power, but the truly powerful don't feel the need to say it. The more a person understands, the less they need to prove it. That's the paradox. The ones who boast, who correct everyone in conversation, who flaunt their superiority, they're rarely wise. They're just loud. True wisdom is quiet. It doesn't interrupt. It doesn't need a spotlight. It observes. Socrates once said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." And the wisest people live by that truth. They're not interested in dominating debates or sounding smarter than everyone else. They're interested in truth. And truth isn't found in noise. It's found in stillness, in listening, in asking the right questions, not shouting the right answers. Think about the people who've had the greatest impact on you. Chances are, it wasn't their words that changed you, it was their presence. Their calm. Their ability to listen without judgment. Their ability to guide, not impose. The wise don't speak to impress. They speak when it adds value. When it serves a purpose. And when they do speak, every word lands with weight. There's a reason the room goes quiet when a truly wise person finally opens their mouth. It's because silence has been their teacher. Observation has been their practice. They speak from experience, not ego. In a world obsessed with being right, the wise are okay being unsure. Because they know that humility opens doors pride can never reach. So if you feel the urge to prove your intelligence, to jump into every conversation just to be heard, pause. Ask yourself, am I here to learn or to be seen? Because wisdom isn't shown by how often you speak. It's shown by how deeply you understand, and how quietly you carry that depth. There's a saying in strategy, never let your enemy know your next step. But the wise take it further, they don't let anyone know. Not enemies, not friends, not even family. It's not about secrecy. It's about strength. In a world addicted to exposure, everyone's busy sharing their plans. I'm starting a business. I'm quitting my job. I'm about to make a big move. But the moment you announce it, you open the door to interference, criticism, jealousy, doubt, even sabotage. The Stoics taught us, power grows in silence. When you keep your goals private, they stay protected. Not because people want you to fail, though some might, but because even well-meaning voices can plant hesitation. A single comment can turn confidence into confusion. Epictetus once said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Let them laugh. Let them misunderstand. Let them think you're doing nothing while you're quietly building everything. Your silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's knowing that your next move doesn't need an audience. Only results do. And when the time comes, and your plan unfolds with precision, people will call it luck or overnight success. But you'll know the truth, it was patience, discipline, and silence. So the next time you're tempted to share your blueprint with the world, stop. Build in secret. Evolve in private. And let your success speak for itself. Because the loudest plan gets the most attention. But the quietest one gets the farthest. Pain is a universal language. Everyone feels it, but not everyone understands what to do with it. Some cry out for attention. Others seek pity. They wear their wounds on their sleeves, hoping someone else will carry the weight. But the wise, they bleed in silence. Not because they're heartless, but because they've learned a deeper truth. Broadcasting pain doesn't heal it. Discipline does. Marcus Aurelius, writing from the battlefield and the burden of being emperor, once said, If it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. The wise take this seriously. They don't complain to the world. They don't post cryptic messages hoping for sympathy. They don't weaponize their suffering for validation. Instead, they go inward. They face the storm alone. And in that solitude, they find something most people never touch: inner power. Because when you learn to hold yourself through pain, when you breathe through the chaos without asking for rescue, when you carry the weight without demanding applause, you become unshakable. It's not that the wise never ask for help. They do, but only from those who've proven they can hold space without judgment. They choose carefully, and rarely. Because they know. Pain shared with the wrong person becomes drama. Pain processed alone becomes strength. We're not here to impress the world with our resilience. We're here to build it so deep that no one even sees what we've survived. So next time life cuts deep, don't reach for noise. Reach for stillness. Go to war with your shadows, not on Instagram, but in the silence of your own soul. Because the wisest man in the room isn't the one talking about his wounds. It's the one who carries them with dignity and still moves forward.